Okay, let's see where we end up next. Spongebob Squarepants, the movie. Oh boy. Gosh, so we have a lot of these SpongeBob games, so let's get one out of the way. I was kind of in a bad mood about playing SpongeBob, but hearing this music, it's kinda hard to stay grouchy. Although I'm sure it will come back almost immediately. Let's go with medium, why not? Okay, so the thing about these SpongeBob games, like, even knowing that it's way forward, pretty much all of these... Oh, right, this is following the movie storyline, isn't it? I've never actually seen the movie all the way through. I've more or less avoided it. Like, I am a decent SpongeBob fan for... Like, I've watched it for a whole number of years, and I enjoy most of it. Basically, like, 7 or 8 years ago, I stopped watching when it sort of started getting immensely repetitive and not really that funny anymore, but yeah. Was never a fan of the movie, I don't know. I mean, they already had a King Neptune character in the show, and then the movie version was suddenly completely different. Do I have... Oh, I do have a... Not quite a double jump, but still. Something of that nature. But yeah. Okay, so that, I guess, is the thing. You just hit L and use up a bucket, and that happens. And lowered it a little bit then. Yeah, that should do it. So that's probably how we were supposed to get through that earlier area. Oh, okay. So let's try this. Actually, hold on, let's try this first. Oh, that is fun. And already, actually, like, I was coming into this expecting something along the lines of every other SpongeBob game that exists on the Game Boy Advance, which is a very basic and boring and generic platformer with very little fun existing. This one, so far, has been quite fun. I mean, I don't think I'm going to go through the entire game, since I can see already that this will get fairly repetitive, but I would say that this one is a couple steps above the other ones. Okay. More buckets, sure. Is it just the one more? Yeah, it's just the one more. So that was a bit much in the effort area for such a reward. And this whole partnership thing is almost reminiscent of, like, Real Monsters or Animaniacs on the Genesis, but done far, far better. Just gotta find out if there's another way other than this running technique to go through things like that. Those block barriers. Not what I meant to do, but that's okay. gotta say, there's an incredibly generous timer there. Ah yes, that's another good example. Stimpy's Invention on the Genesis, another game that has you controlling two characters at once. It's a really hard thing to pull off in a platformer, to have two characters controlled at the same time, each with varying abilities, and not have it be a spectacular fail of a game. That other one I mentioned there, Real Monsters, that is, in general, a terrible game. That was a definite example of one that did not manage to pull it off well. Okay, good. For a second there I thought each and every one of those spots was going to be a stage. That would have been worrisome. So yeah, this King Neptune... I don't like the King Neptune from the movie at all. Maybe the one from the show was King Triton or something like that, but pretty sure I remember the one from the show being King Neptune. It's like the one where SpongeBob pulled the spatula from the grease and ended up in a one-on-one match against King Neptune, creating burgers, and SpongeBob ended up winning. Maybe that would work. Maybe it's doing that. I don't know, and I'm just going to carry on and not be concerned since it's just a one-up. What the hell? It's a chum bucket remote control thing. Okay. But yeah, the version of King Neptune in that episode was a fairly well-written character. He seemed like a character that could have done well if they brought him back. And I think in later episodes they did, but I'm not really 100% certain on that. You know, that version of King Neptune seemed like a good character, and it made me wonder, why did they write a completely different King Neptune for the movie? I also wonder now... Yes, indeed. Don't have to specifically jump on their heads. That is rather nice. Kind of nifty that the areas are quite open-ended and open to exploration, while at the same time you can also choose to just sort of race through the level and get to the ending. Kind of feels like a Sonic game in that aspect. No. Can't get extra health if you're already at full. Good to know. That's also nice in that it prevents accidentally getting health, so if we were trying to explore and find everything, we could eventually return to that if we took damage. That is quite nifty. Oh dear. Sort of even more Sonic-likeness in having the giant clam chasing after you, forcing you to run. Momentum is kind of weird, on the other hand. Yeah, let's be a bit more careful. But yes, as mentioned, probably will go through one world or stage or level or whatever we want to call it of this, and that'll be about that, since already the platform repetitiveness is setting in. dash on ahead again. No. Big old wall in the face. That's a thing. Didn't even realize what was giving us the invincibility before, but that's apparently just a mustache. I'll assume that's a thing in the movie because I have no clue why a mustache would give SpongeBob and Patrick invincibility otherwise. Oh, and clams are totally invulnerable to being hit on the head. Where did I last save? Probably in stage 2, wasn't it? Yeah, this is definitely stage 2. Oh well, jump cut for the YouTube, folks. No such luck for the, stream audience. Okay, that was worth seeing. Jump cut from here on, then. And you don't need to include that emoticon, Hiku, since I already stated pretty clearly that I've never really watched much of the movie. Like, if it weren't for these weird momentum things, it seems like they want you to run and take all of those just one after another, but momentum does not allow you to do that because, like, you lose all momentum when you sort of just landing makes you lose momentum. There. Just a couple tries to get that to work. Okay, and here we are again. Oh, jumping on clams does work when they have their mouths closed. Take a couple hits on them, I guess. Good to know. This game is extraordinarily generous with 1-ups, but I guess it is a game aimed at little kids, so... Okay. I'm really curious what all these, clams we're collecting is going to be for, since in the first stage I was pretty sure it was just going to be, okay, collect 100, get an extra life, but here we are with 198 of them, and no sign yet whatsoever what their use might be. I can only assume at this point that all these things did indeed happen in the movie. No shoot button. All we have is the giant bubble attack and the race forward thing. And all we have for this is a jump. Nothing else. Pretty nifty to see variety, though. I honestly was not expecting any. let's go ahead and start scene stating since we only have one health left. For that reason, a bit hard to get the timing down initially. I've not picked up on exactly how close we can get to things. Especially when they come in from the side. I'd say this is one of the weirdest looking areas I've seen. Like, this perspective. Very, very weird. Kind of a shame that we have a new password after everyone instead of, you know, the game saving itself. Especially from a game from Way Forward. We expect better of them. Although I guess, at this point in their game development life, they weren't handling amazing games and releasing awesome quality titles almost every single time. They were stuck in movie tie-in game territory, pretty much. Can we tuck under that? Yes, we can. Cool. If anyone feels like finding out if there is a walkthrough, maybe they are ammunition for something, the golden clams, that is, but I have not been able to find a fire button of any type. Also, that boss is way the hell easier than I expected it to be. Now we get choice now. It's a bit unexpected in a platforming game. Oh. Maybe less choice and more... I see. Okay, they are currency. Extra life. Screen clearing bucket. Purchase. Okay. Uh-huh. Right. So yeah, well, let's find out what's up here first. Oh, I see. What's this one? Yep. Okay, so that bonus level that we found in the first stage, we can then purchase further bonus levels. What? Well, at least a 1-up is one of them this time. Yeah, I think we have all seen enough of this game. This has been Spongebob Squarepants the movie. Probably the best of the SpongeBob games that we're going to see. I think it's going to be downhill from here. I really don't think that any of the other SpongeBob games we're going to run into will be even this good. So, yeah. Something to look forward to.